This is the farmhouse where I grew up, where my father grew up, where my grandfather grew up, where my great-grandfather grew up. The main house was built in 1860. We got electricity in 1943 with the Rural Electrification Act. And now what I am doing is I'm removing the majority of the 1960 updates and reverting the era back to somewhere between 1920 and 1950. I'm going to show you each room in the order that I did them years ago. While I am no more of a carpenter or a designer than any member of my family has ever been, I'm doing it to suit me and my tastes. So in this chapter, we're going to take the bathroom electric from a single wall switch and one receptacle to two receptacles, 5 wall switches, and a mechanical timer. Oh, and don't forget the 2 ceiling lights and the exhaust fan. So let's start with the basics. That would be the light switch for the ceiling. Now, because this is going to be a 1950s bathroom, ideally we would like a Honeywell tap light, as you see here. However, trying to find a new one is practically impossible. They may be out there, but they would be 70 years old at this time. So I decided to create a modern version of the old style tap light. So I started with a Leviton IPL06 switch. It's a push button on off with a rheostat to adjust the intensity of the light. And as you can see, I have cut away some of the face and removed the rheostat dimmer. So I've got just the push button, and the faceplate around the push button, that was cut too. And I'm using a stainless steel switch plate, and now you can see that's been all marked so that that can be cut. And so I got out my trusty Dremel and my cutoff wheel and prepared to cut out that square. So by clamping the switch plate to my bench to give it a good solid base, I started carefully cutting out along the lines that I had drawn. And with that little square cut out and the switch assembly screwed onto the faceplate, it looks nearly factory. And I think that it will mimic a tap light very closely. And because we were repositioning the door, the switch had to be not on the long living room wall. It was going to be on the short living room wall, as you can see where we have it right now. And then it was a matter of routing the new wires through some of the old channels that were cut for the original ceiling light and switch, and getting a lead down to where the new switch panel is going to be. And if you notice on the ceiling, that is the light we've chosen for our bathroom reno. It's a 50s, 60s style light with an upgraded globe. It is a 2-light fixture. What you see here is 2 LED Crees. They're 5500K at 60 watt equivalent each. The upgraded globe that I talked about, as you can see, the bottom is crystal, and there is a crystal band on the side, which gives a little extra side light around the room instead of straight down. Now the main switch panel in the bathroom is going to be 4 modules, and you can see here we've got a 4-place plastic box, and we did a little magic to make it fit in its new location. And these are the 4 modules. From left to right, you've got a mechanical timer that will run the exhaust fan. Then we have a 3-place rocker switch. As you can see, the shower lights on the top, the exhaust fans in the middle, and the bathroom heats on the bottom. One more module over, you've got our X10 relay for water and hot water. And finally, far right, you've got the receptacle module. And with a stainless steel 4-place cover from Kyle switch plates, this is what we ended up with. Now for the shower light, I wanted one of the 50s square lights. However, 1, they're impossible to find, and 2, they're not waterproof. So the best I could come up with was this square LED sealed unit that does a great job of lighting the tub and the shower. Now here you can see where we used the original cut channel for the ceiling light wire, and we just put a new wire in that same channel and ran it farther down that same path between the ceiling joists to catch the light in the shower. And then just to the right of that, we created a new channel to run the wire to the new position for the bathroom ceiling light. So then we had to power the medicine cabinet. So as you can see, we ran a wire up the wall and then down into the little square cavity that we created for the medicine cabinet. But as we were hooking the medicine cabinet up, we found that the receptacle that was mounted below the right-hand light was not working. So you can see here that we got some wires soldered on and shrink tubed to the original wiring. And here is the switch that we hooked up with a couple spade terminals. This is the receptacle. They still make them, although this one is not curved. The original was curved. This one is not. But rather than having a curved one that doesn't work or a straight one that does work, we're going to stick with the straight one. Next, we had to get power over to the window wall for the fan. So we ran a 3-conductor wire in the armored cable over to the wall, took the power and the common and connected that to the receptacle, and then coming out the right-hand side in the armored is the white common and the red wire that is going to be the power for the fan. And then that red wire is going to be the switched power for the fan from the switch on the wall that you've already seen. And with those wires finished and the wall done, there is our receptacle and the fan. And if you'll notice, we painted one of the old style bioluminescent lights. It's not one of the newer LEDs. We prefer the old style bioluminescence, and we just painted the white nacelle the same color as the wall. So all you see is that bluish green light at night, which it does light up the entire bathroom. Now, if you noticed when we showed you the receptacle that was on the wall that was part of the 4-place switch assembly, that was marked as ground fault. Now here is where we got the ground fault. We've got 3 ground fault receptacles mounted one above the other, and as long as you have one ground fault in the entire loop, that's all you need. So it comes out of the sub panel, goes to the ground fault, and from there each one goes to where we have water and electricity together. That was the easiest, cheapest way to do it that would work. And that is how we did the complicated wiring for our 1950s bathroom update.